Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. There is a lot of cheese out there, isn't there? I mean, more so than there was when I was growing up. It's just at times overwhelming. Have you ever been to a really well-stocked cheese shop? I mean, wall-to-wall cheeses on the floors. There's dairy cases full of them and just overflowing. And you're wondering, just get me out of here. This just doesn't make sense. And it makes us long for a simpler time. No choice. Those days are over. And good riddance. Variety is the spice of life, and we just have to learn to appreciate it and educate ourselves a little bit to take advantage of it. And if you think about it, we go into a library, there's thousands of volumes there, and we don't panic. Why? Because we know there's a system that will allow us to go right to the book that we want. And that's what we need for the world of cheese. A system, a lens, if you will, a filter, something that will make sense and allow us to categorize all these cheeses so that when we go into one of these well-stocked shops, we automatically can put them into the right category. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to give you that lens, and you can stride into any shop with confidence. So, let's go shopping. Le Maître Fromager is open.
Wow.
Don't panic. We're going to make sense of this. Now, what we have here is about 40 different kinds of cheeses, which really is a drop in the bucket. France alone makes over 300 kinds. And you've got Italy and Switzerland and Scandinavian countries and England. And don't forget the United States, which is producing some really top-notch specialty cheese these days. So, we need some way to categorize all this. And how are we going to do it? Well, there's a number of different ways. One, we could do it by type of milk. There's cow milk, which is the most prevalent, goat milk, and sheep milk. So that's basically it, 3. Another way would be how it's ripened. Now, if you're looking here at the colors, you see a lot of orange, red, and some white, and there's some blue there. These are ripening agents. And the red is a bacteria that's encouraged to grow on the surface, and it helps to ripen the cheese. The white is a white mold that does the same thing, basically, but imparts a different flavor. And then, of course, the blue, which is encouraged to grow in the interior of the cheese and gives it that distinctive blue flavor. So we can do that. Another way that I find the most helpful is by texture. And these terms are industry accepted terms. They're actually legal terms. So let's do that. First one is soft ripen. And let's move some of this into that category. There's a camembert. And there's a stinky one there. Pomme bec. A brie. And another brie. There's another little stinker. All right, let's say assertive bouquet. Acquired taste. But don't give up on it. Okay, so there we go. The soft ripens. Now they are characterized by high moisture content. They're pretty volatile. They're short-lived. 4 to 8 weeks they're aged, and then after that, they're small. Usually you're going to buy the whole thing, this little guy, except for brie, which you buy by the piece. Basically, buy them by the whole piece. So soft ripe. The next one is semi-soft. Now, that is less moisture, so it's going to be less volatile. It's not going to be runny and oozy like these guys, but kind of more bulgy. It's going to be bigger, You'll cut it, you won't buy the whole thing, you'll cut it. And let's move these into position. They're aged about 8 weeks to, say, 6 months. The final category for this kind of thing is hard cheese. We're familiar with that in this country, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Some of these guys they're built to last, is what it is. Some of them aged from 6 months to 2 years or even more. They're bigger. These aren't to scale like this one at Beaufort from the mountains of France. Over 2 feet in diameter. This Emmentaler from Switzerland, 3 feet diameter. Okay, so again, they'll be cut cheese. I would add 2 more. They're not really texture, but it'll help us with this. Is the blues, which are pretty self-explanatory, and the goats. These are usually fresh type cheeses, and they're kind of usually set off by themselves in the shop. They've got, they usually made these little fanciful shapes, pyramids and bell shapes and cylinders and all that. So that's about it. There's not much else you're going to do with milk. So we've got 5 things to keep in mind when we go into that shop. That's not bad. Now me, I'm usually not buying, I'm not usually buying 5 different cheeses or anything like that. I use another method, which is, I call it patriotic method. I will buy a red, a white, and a blue. I threw in a hard cheese just to kind of round things out. But that way you've got enough variety in flavor, in texture, and appearance to make an interesting cheese. So hopefully we're all confident now that we can stride into that shop with these categories in mind, and be assured that we've selected good variety of cheese. Oh, and there's one other one I almost forgot. This is an icon of American technology, America's gift, if you say, to the cheese world. Toastmasters.